Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources. Hashtag how I got custody. I need to deal with this question that people ask. Well, how is that going to look? How is that going to look? I'm worried about how that's going to look in court. This is the most cowardly, sissy, ballless question I've ever heard of in my life. Well, if I go to court and do contempt on the mother who violated my rights, how is that going to look? How do you think it's going to look? To a radical feminist man-hating judge, it might look bad. To someone who doesn't tolerate violations of the parenting plan, like my first commissioner or judge that I went in front of, who got my baby's mom found in contempt, my motion looked great because I won. This is the most sissified, pansy question I ever get, because if you don't want to fight for your kid, then quit on your kid and leave it all alone. You know, the best way to look good in court is to never go to court. Actually, if you're worried about how something will look, the best thing for you to do is never step outside, because once you step outside into this cold, callous world we live in, you might look bad to somebody. Somebody at work might not like you. Somebody walking on the street might not like the way you dress. Oh, how would that look if I went outside? What would people think? If your life with your kid is on the line, why do you give a friggin' rip how it looks to anybody? Do you think Martin Luther King cared how it looked when he marched in the middle of in the belly of the beast in the South, where he had a whole bunch of haters? You think he worried about how it looked, or do you think he cared about justice and pushing through, prejudices or a corrupt system, or the authorities, the police, all these people who hated him in a position of authority? He knew he was going to get thrown in jail. He knew he was going to look bad. He knew he was going to be slandered. And all he was saying, hey, I just want some equality. If he would have said, oh, how is that going to look? That's going to look bad. I'll look too aggressive. J. Edgar Hoover's spying on me. There's other people watching me. I might look bad. And then guys say, well, I got sanctioned once, or I lost once. So what? Is your kid worth fighting for? Or do you care more about your feelings and your reputation and the inconvenience or the uncomfortableness of actually losing? If that's like a football or basketball team saying, man, how will it look if we go out there and play aggressively, or whatever? Or what if we lose? Basically, just saying, what if I lose? So a sports team, for those of you who are football fans, when the Giants upset the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and the Patriots undefeated and they had Randy Moss, they thought, there's no way the Patriots are losing. They got upset. If the New York Giants were going to listen to all the odds makers and the naysayers and the people who said they don't have a chance, if they're going to do that, then they might as well have forfeited. But people, I could have forfeited because I had friends and family telling me I'm going to lose, I'm going to give myself a stroke, I'm going to do all this other stuff, just give the mother what she wants. I couldn't do that. I couldn't not fight for my daughter. I couldn't go all out and do everything I could, because if I was going to lose, I was going to go down swinging. You ever seen that picture of there's a old cartoon that says never give up, and it's a frog being swallowed by I forget what are the birds' names with the big chin under their beak. But this frog's being swallowed by a bird, and as the bird has him halfway in his mouth, the frog is choking his neck. So he's about to go in his mouth and down his throat, but he's choking the bird's neck so he can't go down his throat. And it says never give up. I'm going down swinging. If you say to another man, how will that look if I go to court and do contempt because the mother violated me, because I lost a contempt before? Why aren't you afraid how that looks to another man, that you look like an effeminate, sissy, coward wimp? And you know that you're right. You know that you're on the side of truth and justice, and you're afraid of how it will look to an unjust, corrupt court system. When my baby's mom violated my court order in the first few weeks that I had it, I heard about the contempt procedure. I jumped on it and I went for contempt. I didn't care how it looked. If somebody breaks into your house, think about how stupid you sound when you say, oh, how would that look? if somebody breaks into your house and violates your rights and steals something from you, and then they do it again, and then they do it again, and you think, man, I better call the cops or they're going to break in my house again. But then you say, you know what? How would that look? The person who violated me, they might be poor, and then I'm kind of crapping on their life situation, or a jury might side with them. You might actually, they might get prosecuted and they might get off. But you're sitting there saying, how will that look? See how stupid that sounds? I mean, if you want to go to court and fight for your right to your kids, and you know the court system is corrupt, and you might have a chance to win, or you might not. And let me give you a little secret on the inside. Most cases are won by the person who gets on the offensive the most. Most of you guys out there, like a bunch of sissy cowards, you give up and you sign court orders, and some of you don't even read them, and you agree to court orders that are not in your child's best interest and that give the mother all the control, and you didn't even read the order. And your mom told you when you're 7 years old, never sign anything, or when you're a teenager. You knew, everybody knows, anybody with half a brain who pays attention to the world knows you read the fine print. Everybody has heard that. But because some guys are such a bunch of dumb, simp, stupid, jackass, cowardly punks who don't care about their kids, they're like, this court system sucks so bad. Let me just sign off and make it go away. And then they sign their life away to the mother, and they have years of torment until their kid is 18 because they signed so much control to the mother, because they're so stupid and don't have the sense God gave a monkey to actually read what they're signing and think, man, how does this affect me negatively? Guys want an easy way out. They want an easy win. They want an easy comfort because you got the curse of Adam to be lazy. We're talking about the life with your kid. Why do you care what anybody in the world outside of your kid thinks, you coward? Why do you care about anything but your kid? If access to your kid is through the court system, and the mother's abusive, has a boyfriend who's on drugs, the mother's on drugs herself, or she lives with a violent sex offender, and that's a way that guys have gotten custody before, by going and exposing that to the court. And you're like, well, how will that look? Are you kidding me? Do I really have to answer that stupid, jackass, moronic question? How will that look? I almost shouldn't even have to have a video on this. If I tell most of my audience that there's guys who don't want to go to court because they're worried about how that will look, you know how laughable that is? How many women go to court and lie about a guy, like my baby's mom? 1 year after she proposed that I have full custody because I beat her down in court. Let me get back to that one point. I missed the point earlier. Most cases are won by whoever manipulates the court system the best and beats the other person down until they surrender. But guys always surrender first because they let the mother beat them down because they're playing Mr. Nice Guy. Most of the guys that I've worked with who got custody, they got on the offensive and went all out and went to war. And the women are like, oh my God, I can't believe you're fighting me this hard. This is too stressful. How are we going to work this out? Then all of a sudden they have leverage to negotiate. But you idiots out there think, oh, I got 2 hours of supervised visitation. Maybe I can negotiate with the mother and she'll give me every other weekend, or 50-50. What? She has all the leverage. That's like saying maybe Bill Gates will work with me if I give him a couple bucks. He has billions of dollars. Stop being such a bunch of stupid, moronic airheads. You're in a corrupt system, but the corrupt system, that's the tunnel to your kid. And the kid is on the other side of the tunnel. And the tunnel is like an Indiana Jones tunnel where there's animals and thugs and vipers and stuff like that. But your kid's on the other end of that tunnel. If you're a wimp and a coward and a simp and a sissy, don't go through that tunnel and then just suffer the consequences of not being around your kid. But when I heard of contempt, I jumped on it. I didn't care. I went into court and I blasted the mother and her attorney, and I thoroughly embarrassed him and used his own words against him, and it hurt his feelings. I didn't care how it looked. And guess what? I won my first contempt without a lawyer. Now, not everybody's going to win, but if you don't try, you're going to lose. But if you're worried about what stuff looks like to people or what they're going to think, then don't ever do anything and quit on your kid. In fact, don't go outside of the house because you're so worried about what people think in life. Get real. How will this look? You're a quitter if you worry about what people think when you're fighting for your kid.